Hey everybody, it's Hera Caine, and I am responding, I guess, to a video put out, well, a two-part video that was put out by Thomas Sanders. He does these great Sanders Sides videos where he basically interacts with different aspects of his personality, and they're absolutely wonderful. And I finally had the chance to sit down and watch both parts. And the second part was talking about accepting anxiety. And I have been a sufferer of anxiety for as long as I can remember. My grandmother told me that I was diagnosed when I was 4. And back in the late 80s, early 90s, that kind of diagnosis for a child really wasn't a big thing. It was typically not even treated. Therapy wasn't an option, at least not in the area I grew up in. They told us that my grandparents were doing the right thing, and I guess they were. I had a great childhood. I don't really remember a lot of the anxiety from back then, but I do remember always feeling out of place and always feeling left behind and left out. I had one friend that would include me in everything, and I still, to this day, consider her one of my best friends. We still tell each other everything, and even though we don't talk as often as I would like, she is still a very important part of my life and has been for the past just under 30 years. So she's incredible. I love you, JC. Mwah. So today I finished up those 2 videos after work, and being a server, which is a job that I've loved since the first time I did it, and I adore this job. I adore waiting tables. I love meeting new people, and I love seeing how they react to things. I love hearing about their lives, and I love the fact that for some odd reason most people just love to open up to me and tell me everything. And I'm not mad about that. I love it. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. Like the universe just puts you where you're supposed to be at that exact moment. And I don't think that I would be able to do those things without having suffered with anxiety, with severe anxiety for so long. Now, in Thomas's videos, he goes through a period of a lack of anxiety, a lack of fear, a lack of fight or flight response, a complete disregard for his own safety. Memory, his memory wasn't so good. His reflexes were horrible. It was just this amalgamation of all of these terrible fears, but he had no fear, and that was a problem. And I absolutely agree with that. I will be 33 this August, and so I've been living with anxiety that we know of for 30 years now almost, and I consider myself to still be completely stupid when it comes to what I'm dealing with in my own life. I considered it a hindrance. I considered it an enemy of sorts. I felt like it prevented me from doing the things that I wanted to do, the things that I truly wanted to accomplish in life. I blamed that for a long time on my anxiety and my lack of motivation. I blamed that on my anxiety, when in reality, if you really sit back and look at it, the anxiety is the only thing that's kept me going. It keeps me moving. It keeps me pushing forward for bigger and better things, out of fear a little bit, yes, but also because I don't want to stagnate. I don't want to be stuck in the same spot for the rest of my life. So if you look at it like that, anxiety, even severe anxiety, can be considered not so much a bad thing, but it's still an important thing. when it's controlled. Now, for me right now, I am unmedicated for my anxiety for the most part, and it makes it difficult to do the things that I used to do with ease. Like currently working as a server, I have trouble still approaching tables for fear of a rejection, for fear that they won't like me, that I will say something stupid, which I often do and don't even realize. And it's difficult to push past that. But just the very second that I'm getting ready to approach the table with my little stack of plates and my greeting in my head ready to go, it eases back a little bit and I can function. But that same anxiety also comes back, and I start to obsess a little bit over the little details, like, did I get that guy his ranch dressing? Did I fill his water? Did I get her sweet tea? Did I get their bread? Oh my goodness, did I forget the butter? So that those little tiny things build up, but they also make me a better server. They make me better at my job. And when I worked at a gas station, I had some really wonderful experiences with people that I don't think I would have been able to be as helpful or as reassuring had I not already gone through my own experiences with severe anxiety. I was able to talk several people down from anxiety attacks and from panic attacks. I was able to help a young lady who had been beaten by her husband just a few hours earlier, and when he fell asleep, she ran to the gas station I worked at, and she didn't even know why she came there. And I may be an atheist, but I still stand by the fact that sometimes you're just put in the right place at the right time. Like draws like. In that particular situation, I was able to get her to calm down. I was able to help her breathe through it. I was able to give her the information she needed in order to protect herself, and walked her through the steps. I made sure that she filed a police report. I was friendly with a couple of the cops, and I sat there with her and them, and I held her hand through the whole process while they took her statement. A few months later, I find out that she did indeed move out, and she and her children are quite happy in their new home where they're at now. And it's crazy to think that I had a hand in helping her get to where she needed to be to provide a safe environment for her children and herself. Had I not had the experiences that I've had with severe anxiety, I don't believe I would have been able to do that. I don't think I would have been as empathetic. I don't think I would have been able to understand on that level. And until today, until I saw those videos and until I really watched them and really listened, I had considered my anxiety the enemy, the bad guy, the supervillain to my superhero, the reason I couldn't do anything. In reality, yes, my anxiety does get out of control at times, but so do my other issues. I can't necessarily predict when things will get out of control, but what I can do is I can push through, and I can focus on the good, and I can breathe through the attacks, and I can move forward, and I can use those experiences to help others and to reassure others that yes, this may be a condition that you don't necessarily wake up from and get over one day, but it is manageable, it is doable. And without it, I don't think I would be me. And I like me. I'm pretty awesome. Now, it's taken me 30 years to get there, but I think I'm pretty cool. And for me to be able to say that is a big deal. There have been years where I didn't believe that I was worth the paper I was printed on. And now, to be able to hold my head up and to walk into a room and to realize that most people don't even care. And B, the ones that do care, those are the ones that matter. And C, the ones that give you crap all the time, most of the time it's based on jealousy or an insecurity of their own that they can't get over. So I try to be an example. And yes, I have my bad days, I have my good days, I have my in-between days, but we all do. Everybody has that. I'm no different than anyone else. Just because I have a severe anxiety disorder, it doesn't make me any different than anyone else in the big picture. My heightened anxiety gives me almost a superpower, and I am finally starting to learn to appreciate it for what it is. Can it be difficult to deal with? Absolutely. Absolutely, it is difficult to deal with some days. But then there's other days where it makes me a better friend. It makes me a better worker. It makes me a better driver. It makes me a better parent. It makes me a better version of myself. And I don't think I would really want it any other way. So a quick thank you to Thomas Sanders for putting that video out there and sharing a little piece of yourself with the rest of us. It's good to know that I'm not alone. It makes my life a lot better knowing that there are other people out there that are willing to put themselves out there and show the world that, yes, I live with this, and yes, it's difficult, but if I can do it. So if you can do it, if you can put it out there, and if you can make it known on a more public forum, then absolutely so can I. I've talked about it on my Instagram before, and I have, discussed it a little bit on my Facebook page, but I've never really discussed in depth about it or about the meds I use or anything like that, because most of the time I feel like that's just my business, and it is. But if anybody has any questions about my experiences with anxiety and my panic attacks and my anxiety attacks, which surprisingly are two totally different things, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, or you can message me on Instagram or on Facebook, and I will be more than happy to share with you my experiences. And heck, if you just need to vent or you just need a friend, I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. I do work a lot, and I'll be starting back to school in August, so my time will be limited, but I will make a point to answer any questions and answer any comments that I can. So thank you for listening to my rant, and thank you to Thomas Sanders for being so awesome and making videos that make my day better. And as always, be careful, be grateful, and most important of all, always be you. Mwah. Bye, guys.